Hey, Boy Manning here. Welcome to a news edition of the Garden Report. The Kevin Durant trade saga is over. Shams Surrounding reporting that yesterday, Joe Tsai, Nets owner, Sean Marks, Nets GM, Steve Nash, the head coach, as well as Kevin Durant, who had reportedly demanded the ousting of Nash and Marks a week or so ago here, is the almost 2-month anniversary of Durant making his trade demand. Just about a month or so of the Celtics being looped into this through reports, and they all came together as a Nets collective and decided, however reluctantly, to run this back. The Nets will be moving into the season, it appears, with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, as well as Ben Simmons as a trio that will hope to increase everybody's value, maybe get the Nets back on track. This comes on the heels of a report by The Athletic of Memphis, New Orleans, Atlanta, other teams getting involved, with Grizzlies having no clear desire to include Desmond Bane. The Hawks offer involved John Collins, and the Pelicans, we had heard last week, didn't want to include Brandon Ingram in any discussions here. So evidently, the Nets all decided the best option was to run it back. They released a statement as a team here today that I thought was interesting, stressing that we are focused on basketball. That's the line that really stuck out to me from Sean Marks, with one collective goal in mind: build a lasting franchise to bring a championship to Brooklyn. Now, Simmons is going to be critical in doing that, of course. We still haven't seen or heard much of him since back surgery, as well as mental hurdles that the Nets acknowledged in the aftermath of the Celtics sweeping the Nets. They add Royce O'Neal, which was a good move to shore up their wing depth. TJ Warren joins on a minimum, trying to bounce back from a 2-year absence from basketball. Goran Dragic, Bruce Brown, those are real losses. Two guys that I thought were as good as anyone in that Nets Celtics series. And of course, Joe Harris coming back from injury, a sharpshooter. Seth Curry, who wasn't right in that series, coming back from an ankle injury as well. He can be a dangerous second unit player. You look at this team on paper, I think a lot of people have hope. People starting to drum up their championship contention hopes here, just looking at this team on paper. But there's still a lot to figure out, concerns to squash. Of course, there's no resolution on the Irving contract, which was the start of all of this, it seemed. The Nets' unwillingness to extend him long term. They, of course, get what they want out of this: a little bit more organizational control back, while bringing everybody back to the roster next year. But Steve Nash is still the coach. Durant, of course, seemed to have good reason in losing a little bit of faith in him, if that's why he demanded his firing. The defense last 2 seasons has not been good. The principles on that end, the cohesion, the continuity, the chemistry of players on that end of the floor just didn't seem to be a priority. Still small guards in place here, whether it's Irving, Patty Mills back on the team this year. They didn't increase their depth and size along the perimeter all that much to project toward defensive growth, unless you think Simmons can solve all. And of course, there's still concerns with him, I would say, given that he hasn't played basketball since the spring of 2021. This team, you look at the talent, it's there, but there's a lot to figure out through training camp. And if things don't start off well, just how sustainable is this reunion? We'll have to see. And it's certainly not contractually promised beyond this year, given Irving's free agency that will be ahead next summer. From a Celtics perspective, they'll be preparing to run it back as well. They miss out on Durant, however involved they were in acquiring him. They have to mend this Jaylen Brown situation if this is a lasting point of distrust or bad feelings, whatever it may be, over his inclusion in these trade rumors. Now, of course, the Globe had been reporting that he was looped in, understood the situation. We had heard all that. WEEI hosting Brad Stevens today, who continued the line that this was just due diligence, assessing the price, checking in. Nothing serious here, as the Globe had reported as well. All reports across the board saying that this was never something that came close, a Brown for Durant swap. But the Celtics, in terms of assessing it, as we talked about last week, no one defiantly came out and said, during that time, we're keeping Brown. We want to run this back. We don't want to do this Durant idea. It had been more couch comments throughout, particularly from Jason Tatum, who, as I said in our earlier video today, went on Taylor Rooks' show, Bleacher Report, and defended his decision to appear in a photo working out with Kevin Durant at the height of these trade rumors, not concerned about what the optics were, or if the communication wasn't there between Brown, the organization, and Tatum. Didn't send the best message to Brown, given the uncertainty of that moment. Though the team certainly included Brown in their promotional material, has been putting him on blast in their social media posts. Definitely an unspoken backing over the last week, especially here for Jaylen Brown, and he will be back with the team. Celtics just about a month from training camp. I think that other teams in the East for now are going to be of greater concern, whether it's Milwaukee, whether it's Miami. Even Philadelphia, I think, is more intimidating of an opponent than these Nets are for now. Now, Nets can certainly figure it out, rally around whatever distrust they have in the front office here, do their own version of The Last Dance, whatever it may be. We'll see. And we'll discuss it more tomorrow night on a live edition of the Garden Report. Join us then. Should be getting going around 7 o'clock. We're, of course, brought to you by Athletic Greens. AG1, been on it for, let's say, a month and a half now. 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source ingredients, probiotics, adaptogens, as well as a little bit of everything to support your gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's all there in AG1. One easy scoop in your water each morning. Tastes good. And they're going to give you a year's supply of vitamin D, as well as 5 free travel packs to try it out. You're also going to get a good container and bottle to try this in as well. Great gear with Athletic Greens. Time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop of AG1 in your cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements and the cost of all that to look out for your health. Just go to athleticgreens.com/garden. You'll get that vitamin D, 5 free travel packs, of course. If you email your receipt, or DM rather, to @John_Zanis, you'll get a phenomenal t-shirt. It's athleticgreens.com/garden. athleticgreens.com/garden. Take ownership of your health. Pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Kevin Durant, back to the Nets. We'll discuss it more tomorrow on the Garden Report. I'm Brian Manning for CLNS Media, Celtics All Access, and the Garden Report. We'll talk to you then.